Today I'm going to show you the 3 secrets to build a real brand that can withstand competition and thrive. By the way, if you like videos on how to grow your customer list and build a real brand, then subscribe to my channel below as I have new videos each week.
It's the Morning Marketing Machine, here to grow your e-commerce business with proven marketing strategies and tactics, so you can run your business with machine-like precision. My name is Douglas Levin. Let's dive in.
Hi, my name is Douglas Levin, and I built a 20,000 person messenger list ahead of the launch of our first product, which led to 20,000 in monthly sales within the first 3 months of launch. I also have a link to a free cheat sheet below with tips on how to take control over your e-commerce income. Have you ever been in a position where you're spending way too much money in ads, or your ads simply aren't converting? Have you ever had that happen to you? Well, let me know in the comments. Well, it might be because you're just not dialed in enough with your foundational strategies. You may be saying all right, so what are the foundational strategies here? How can I not lose so much money, right? So anytime I'm talking to anybody about anything related to building up a brand, I always ask them, are you really spending the time on these 3 things, right? So the first one is really understanding your ideal customer. And you want to know everything about them, like everything from their hopes and fears and are they married, everything you possibly can think of related to knowing what type of ideal customer you want. Because this is gonna be the biggest foundational piece for everything you do in your brand moving forward. I know whenever we're trying to do anything, we always look back at this beginning part, the foundation, right? You always have to make sure you're built on a solid foundation. And these 3 pieces are the cornerstones. This is everything that you want to do. If you have these 3 pieces dialed in, then everything you do moving forward is so much easier. You're going to spend a lot less money. You're going to convert much better. And you're going to start to build those raving fans, right? I know you've heard Russell Brunson talk about it all the time, and everybody always says you only need a 1,000 true fans, 1,000 raving fans, and this comes from these 3 pieces right here. You want to be polarizing. You only want to align with your ideal customer. You don't care about what everyone else is. You don't want to be all things to all people. What is the saying? If you're trying to be all things to all people, you're not anything to anybody. So you want to take a stand. You want to really identify who your ideal customer is, right? So that's the first piece. The second piece is about really having brand values. So I know I used to be completely on Amazon, right? That's the only place I sold. And whenever I was dealing with that from an arbitrage perspective, or sometimes even a wholesale perspective, depending on how I was doing it, you didn't really care, right? You're focused on price, right? I just want to sell more, right? I don't care. And at that point, you're treating it as a commodity. And if you're looking at it from the customer's perspective, if they don't know anything at all about your brand, and they're just the only thing they're going to care about then is price. Are you guys the cheapest, right? And when you're looking at it from that perspective, then all it really helps is the customer, right? At that point, you are just competing on price. There's nothing else that differentiates you, right? So whenever you're looking at the number 2 piece, right, your brand values, everything that you're going to do in terms of the foundational pieces is about how can I differentiate my brand so I'm not competing on price. Because for me as a brand, it's not going to do anything for me, right? If I'm just competing on price and all I have to do at that point, all I can rely on is the race to the bottom, then I'm going to make no money and I'm not going to have any real customers, right? The only reason why they bought from me is because I had the cheapest price. And at that point, I'm making a couple cents on the product, and they're going to have no brand loyalty at all. And if I raise my price, they're just going to go with my competitor, right? So you always want to make sure that you're focusing on your brand values as well. And if you're liking any of this, make sure to leave a like in the comments as well. And the third piece that you also want to make sure you're going to pay close attention to is researching your competitors. I mean, this is something that everybody should be doing, right? So yes, you want to focus on your ideal customer, you want to focus on your brand values, but if you don't know who your customers, your competitors are, then how's that going to help you either, right? So it comes down to knowing like what they do really well. What are they not doing so well? Like how can you take advantage of all of these things that your competitors are doing that doesn't align with your ideal customers, right? So you want to pay close attention to your competitors as well. So just to recap here, make sure that anytime that you're doing anything at all in terms of building up a real type of brand, that you're focusing on your ideal customer, right? You're focusing on your brand values, and you're focusing on what your competitors are doing, right? So if you focus on these three things and you really take the time and energy to really dial this in, you're well on your way to building a real brand. And everything that you do after you do this initial research will be so much easier because you're going to have these three pieces, and everything that you do moving forward will be based off of these three pieces, right? It's going to make all of your decision making in the future so much easier. If you're looking for more tips on how to take control over your e-commerce income, click on the link below for a free cheat sheet. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tips on how to grow your list and build your brand. I'll talk to you guys next time. All right, bye.